In the days before the Great Flood, the world had grown dark. Humanity's heart had turned to wickedness, and the earth was filled with corruption and violence. The Lord looked upon the world he had made, and it grieved him to his core. He saw that the imagination of man's heart was only evil continually, and he was sorry that he had made them. A divine judgment was decided. The world would be cleansed by water. Yet in this sea of corruption, one man stood as an island of faith. His name was Noah. He was a just man, perfect in his generations, and he walked faithfully with God. To this righteous man, God revealed his plan. God spoke to Noah. The end of all flesh has come before me. Make yourself an ark of gopher wood. It shall be 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits high. I am bringing floodwaters upon the earth to destroy all flesh. But I will establish my covenant with you, and you shall come into the ark. You, your sons, your wife, and your sons' wives with you. And of every living thing you shall bring 2 of every sort into the ark, to keep them alive. For over a century Noah obeyed. With his sons he felled ancient trees and shaped them into the colossal frame of the ark. They labored under the endless sun, their faith a shield against the scorn and laughter of their neighbors. When the last peg was driven, the most incredible procession began. Animals of every kind, guided by a divine whisper, came in pairs and boarded the great vessel. Finally, when all were aboard, Noah and his family entered. The great door of the ark swung shut, sealed from the outside by the hand of God himself. For 7 days they waited in the silent, expectant darkness. And then the sky split open. The fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the floodgates of the heavens were opened. The rain began to fall upon the earth. 40 days and 40 nights the heavens unleashed their fury, but the true devastation erupted from below. The fountains of the great deep burst forth, and the oceans themselves rose to claim the land. The ark was lifted up, a lone vessel tossed on a world-destroying tempest. The waters prevailed, rising until every high mountain under the entire heavens was covered. All flesh that moved on the earth perished. Birds, livestock, beasts, all swarming creatures, and all mankind. Only Noah was left, and those with him in the ark. For 150 days they were suspended between 2 worlds, one dead, one yet to be born. Inside the great ship, a microcosm of life endured, a fragile heartbeat in a silent world. They kept faith in the echoing darkness, surrounded by the quiet breathing of the creatures God had entrusted to them. Then God remembered Noah. He sent a great wind to sweep across the face of the earth, and the waters began to recede. The deep's fountains were stopped, the windows of heaven were closed, and the ark came to rest upon the mountains of Ararat. Still they waited. Noah opened the window and sent out a raven, which flew to and fro over the endless water. Then he sent out a dove, but the dove found no place for the sole of her foot and returned to the ark. After 7 more days of patience, he sent the dove forth once more. She returned to him in the evening, and behold, in her beak was a freshly plucked olive leaf. In that single vibrant leaf, Noah saw the promise of a new world. It was a sign of life, a message of peace in the end of their long, dark voyage. Hope at last had returned to the earth. At long last, the earth was dry. God spoke to Noah. "Go out from the ark, you and your wife and your sons and their wives with you. Bring out every kind of living creature." The great door opened, and after more than a year, Noah stepped out into the blinding sunlight of a world reborn. The earth was pristine, washed clean of all corruption. A sweet aroma rose from the damp soil. Then a great tide of life spilled forth from the ark, as every creature, great and small, joyfully reclaimed the empty world. Overwhelmed with gratitude, Noah's first act was one of worship. He built an altar, and taking from the clean animals, he offered a sacrifice to the Lord. The aroma was pleasing to God, and he made a promise in his heart. "I will never again curse the ground because of man, even though every inclination of his heart is evil from childhood. And I will never again destroy all living creatures as I have done." Then God spoke to Noah and his sons. "I now establish my covenant with you and with your descendants after you. Never again will all life be destroyed by the waters of a flood." As a sign of this everlasting covenant, God set a magnificent bow in the clouds. The first rainbow arched across the sky, a breathtaking bridge of color and light. Whenever the rainbow appears in the clouds, God declared, I will see it and remember the everlasting covenant between me and all living creatures on the earth." And God blessed Noah and his sons and said to them, "Be fruitful and increase in number and fill the earth." And so, under the promise of the rainbow, humanity's new chapter began. The story of Noah does not end as the waters recede, but echoes forward through all of time, sealed by a promise painted in light. The rainbow became a permanent signature in the heavens, a divine reminder that God's mercy would forever hold dominion over his judgment. From this single family, humanity began its second chapter. Noah's sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth, became the fathers of nations. Their descendants journeyed to the four corners of the world, building new civilizations, their histories forever rooted in the memory of the Ark and the Great Cleansing. The new world, like the old, would know struggle and shadow, for the nature of humanity remained. Noah himself planted a vineyard, and in its fruit found both blessing and frailty, a reminder that the path of righteousness requires constant vigilance. Yet, the legacy of the Ark endured, passed down through generations not merely as a tale of destruction, but as a foundational testament to one man's unwavering faith in the face of impossibility. It is a story of divine judgment tempered by profound grace, a symbol of new beginnings, and an eternal promise that even after the darkest, world-ending storm, hope is everlasting.